Nova Scotia is in the process of drafting the province's first Accessibility Act, known as Bill 59.
The provincial government was roundly criticized last fall for introducing a weak bill and rushing public consultation.
In response, a grassroots advocacy group was born. The Bill 59 Community Alliance is made up of people with various disabilities and is endorsed by 35+ organizations serving people with disabilities.
The Alliance presented at the most recent public consultation. AMI was there. Here's Laura Bain with some highlights.
Involved in the drafting of the bill was a director.
Bill 59 Community Alliance member Gerry says at the second public hearing on the Nova Scotia Accessibility Act, the government got things right.
They scheduled it over 2 days, which is very unusual, as well as they allowed remote access via video conferencing, which was a first for the province. And of course, they had complete translation service there.
Gerry, along with 4 others from the Alliance, presented at the hearings.
Accessibility is a basic human right. We know there are concerns in the private sector, and alarmists say that this act will put them out of business. This is furthest from the truth. We see this act as driving more customers through the doors of business. As stated previously, 20% of our population has a disability. It's projected to increase to about 30% by 2026.
Next up was Pat Gates, an advocate for the blind and low vision community. She encouraged the lawmakers to be clear about the Act's purpose.
The purpose of this legislation can be defined in one simple word: inclusion. That this province has thousands of experts, people who live with disabilities 24/7. We are the experts.
Paul Vienneau, a musician, spoke from his experience as a wheelchair user and how standards are key to accessibility.
All through my music career, I had to endure hardships and indignities time and time again just to do the thing that I was most passionate about in my life. I have gotten out of my chair and dragged myself up so many dirty steps. To get onto the low stage, I had to be lifted up. So almost every gig I've done since my injury 26 years ago has been some amount of me becoming the floor show. What is just and right is that people with disabilities be able to more fully take part in their lives. And if it needs to be through legislation, that's what it needs to be.
Amy Parsons spoke from the deaf and hard of hearing community about making sure the Act works everywhere. She speaks through an ASL interpreter.
We don't want to have this based on flawed practices. Not without us, but with us. And I encourage you not to be persuaded just by groups with economic power.
Parker Donham advocated on behalf of people with intellectual disabilities.
The most practical step you could take is to recognize that the purpose of the Act is not to make a more accessible Nova Scotia, it is to make Nova Scotia accessible. We don't want to approach the goal, we want to achieve it.
At the hearings, the Bill 59 Community Alliance also presented a statement of principles and practical steps for the redrafting of Bill 59.
This bill is only 10% of what needs to be done. The hard work will start after the bill is adopted.
Gerry says he isn't sure what the Alliance will morph into after the Accessibility Act is drafted, but it's clear this group will stay together until they see change happen.
Those were some very powerful presentations.
Yep, and some good news. The Bill 59 Community Alliance has been invited to assist in the final drafting of the bill. The target is to have it completed and adopted at legislative session.
That's excellent. Gerry was saying the Alliance was very pleased to be involved in the collaborative legislative drafting process, which is new for the province of Nova Scotia.
Incredible.